What's up, guys? I'm Mike D'Antonio, founder and CEO of StockedUp. Welcome back to the Stocks with Mike and Tom show. We have an amazing episode for you guys here today. We had a lot of big earnings moves after the bell. We had a lot of interesting movement, to say the least, in the market today in regards to bonds, precious metals, and the market overall. So the Dow Jones definitely led the NASDAQ and S&P 500 today. We're going to be covering this at the end of the video. But we're also going to be talking about a $3 million put option for this week and some other top plays to watch for tomorrow. So if you guys are new here, don't forget to subscribe to see our daily videos on your YouTube homepage every single day. And Tom and I just want to give a huge thank you to everyone who pushed us over 20,000 subscribers last night. So thank you guys so much for subscribing to the channel, hitting that like button, and commenting down below. It really helps us. So with that being said, Tom, what happened in the stock market today?
Yeah, it looks like Disney went ahead and reported a little bit of mixed earnings today, but they ended up really rising over 5%, with the CEO announcing a new streaming service, and Disney Plus subscribers will get an exclusive access to their new movie called Mulan, which is a pretty cool looking movie. And that's going to be, it was delayed because all the theaters are closed, obviously, but it looks like if you have Disney Plus, they'll give you access to that. And that's going to bring a lot of people to their platform because, people really love it. Just like whenever they had that Star Wars show, everybody was flocking to Disney Plus, and then they kind of canceled. But now people might come back to go ahead and watch this movie, and hopefully they can, keep those people reeled in with their new service coming out as well.
Yeah, for sure. I remember right when Disney announced their Disney Plus streaming service, I remember their stock really shot up. I was trading it actually when it shot up, but this is obviously great news for Disney, and that's why we see them up in after hours. So I don't really like to play stocks prior to earnings because earnings is always a gamble, and no one can predict earnings accurately, over a long period of time. They're kind of like a gamble. Normally what happens is after earnings, you see a big move up or down and then a continuation. So I will definitely be eyeing Disney calls for this week. So
yeah, and then another good earnings play was Beyond Meat. Actually, they went ahead and actually fell a lot on earnings. It looks like their grocery sales actually soared about 200% during the quarter. But the thing is that a lot of restaurants, universities, and everybody else that buys stuff from them, was failing. So it looks like that their sales are going down right now, and the company doesn't have a good outlook going forward, and they're pretty neutral right now. So it's really not looking too well for Beyond Meat. It looked like they were having some upwards momentum over the past couple of days. I know a lot of people in the Discord were talking about it and trading some calls on them, but now it looks like they kind of hit this support up here, and they're just going to tank on earnings. And they did have a good run up from 60 all the way up to 160, but it looks like now they're going to come back down a little bit, and that's kind of expected with all these everything in the food and beverage industry.
Yeah, so Beyond Meat definitely took a beating on earnings. Overall, I mean, they recovered pretty well since the lows back in March, but they did report a negative earnings per share. So that's obviously not a good sign. And again, with Beyond Meat, this can definitely be a continuation play. So even though they already had a big fall down, there's probably more meat on the bone to take advantage of them to the downside. Kind of like what we saw with Intel last week. We saw a big drop down because of earnings, and then they continued down for 4 more days. So we can definitely see something like this with Beyond Meat, but we kind of have to play it by ear.
Yeah, for sure. I really like this play on Intel too. It definitely shot down, and really, man, it's staying low too. It doesn't look like it wants to come back up. It kind of, it's slowly creeping up the past couple of days, but really Beyond just looks like it's going to go down again. But one other thing I just wanted to say about Beyond was, even though it did drop on earnings, it only went down, the amount that it rose the past 2 trading sessions. So it's not like they lost like months of progress or anything. It was only 2 days worth of movement. So
true. That's definitely a good observation right there. And then on a side note, I just kind of wanted to comment how we're seeing some very weird movement in the market. So today, the S&P 500 rose about 0.5%. The NASDAQ rose just under 0.5%. And then or I should say a third of a percent. And then the Dow Jones rose about 0.6%. So the Dow Jones definitely led the market today to the upside. However, we saw something pretty interesting, and we saw bonds rise too. So Tom, slash ZN, this is the 10-year bond, and we saw them rise again, or you could even look at TLT. We saw TLT rise pretty big, which is pretty unusual, especially for a green day in the market. So pretty much what this is telling me is investors are scared right now. That's why they're buying up these bonds. They're just uncertain about the stock market, so they pull their money out of stocks and resort to bonds, because bonds are guaranteed profits. While, as we all know, stocks are very volatile and they can definitely go against you pretty quickly. So investors are definitely still resorting to bonds. They've been doing this for the past, I would say, 2 weeks, especially, but they've really been buying bonds for the past couple months. So, and then on top of that, we saw gold and silver up too. So gold and silver recently, especially recently, are used as like a hedge against inflation, because the dollar's really getting killed right now. So
Yeah, that's another crazy thing to see. To see gold going up as well as the markets, that doesn't happen all the time, but it's been happening since the virus occurred. And I wonder, like you said, everybody's been putting their money into bonds and into gold, but really it just must be that federal, everybody pumping the market, keeping it up right now. I mean, I would think that that's been the main catalyst. Like we've been talking about that before, that and the tech sector, of course. But other than that, I mean, I don't see any big factors to see the market for it to keep going up. But I mean, really, things just seem like they keep getting worse with the virus and stuff keeps shutting down, but somehow the markets keep rising right now, and it's kind of insane.
Yeah, I mean, I wouldn't say either of us are necessarily bearish on the market, but it's just weird to see gold and silver, bonds, and the market overall all moving up at once. Typically, like you just don't see that. You know what I mean? So it's just weird. That doesn't mean that we're bearish per se, but it's just weird to see these three different types of assets all moving up at once. Normally, you don't see that, because when investors are scared of the stock market, the stocks fall because they're selling, and then they resort to bonds because it's safer. And gold and silver kind of work the same way. So it's just interesting to see. So now for today's Discord member of the day, and today's member of the day is Stufano. So Stufano has been an amazing member of the Discord chat, always sharing great information, and he made a great play on Costco today. So he traded the Costco calls earlier today, and I was talking with him a little bit, and I helped him turn it into a spread. So overall, it's looking really good for him. Great trade with Costco today. It's looking great in after hours. So thank you so much for being a great member of the Stocked Up Discord community. So now for the momentum plays for tomorrow. And the first one is AMD. AMD was just like a rocket ship today, up just under 10%. Had some great volume, broke new highs again. AMD is an absolute powerhouse. So what levels should we be watching?
Watch for them to go ahead and hit $86.
So if it breaks above $86, we will be eyeing AMD to the upside. And then with the next play, we have Tilray, which is actually a marijuana company.
Yeah, this is crazy to see them all the way down to $8 a share. I'm glad I sold them at $24 whenever I had them. But yeah, go ahead and watch for them to pop above $8.76.
Yep, $8.76 is the level to watch to the upside, again in a bullish sense. But Tilray at one point was a $300 stock. That's what it's showing on Thinkorswim. Back in Back in September of 2018, this stock was sitting at around 300. Right now, it's sitting around 9. So they've definitely taken a beating the past couple years, but they can definitely be a good momentum play. With the next play, we are eyeing McDonald's, actually.
Yep, and go ahead and watch for McDonald's to pop above 100, or just go ahead and watch above $200.
Yep, again, McDonald's to the upside. Had some nice volume today, breaking out, good momentum. Definitely keep an eye on McDonald's. And last but not least, we have TSN.
Yeah, Tyson Foods, they're popping in after hours as well. I would just watch for them to pop above 65.25.
Awesome. So yeah, we're eyeing all these plays to the upside, but we would only consider buying calls or buying the stock only if they break above the levels we listed. So we're pretty much just looking to take advantage of a continuation upwards just for like a quick little day trade. So keep that in mind. So now for the $3 million put option for this week. So we're eyeing the Apple 425 strike puts that expired this week, August 7th. And there was about $3 million put into this play today. Now, I am not one to short Apple. Apple is an absolute beast. You can see that it seems like they only go up when you look at their chart. So I have very mixed feelings about these Apple 425 strike puts. They are about 15 strikes out of the money, which I don't like. And Apple is still consolidating around that 440 to 435 level. So I do not love these Apple 425 strike puts. So I feel like the big money is actually shorting these options. So if you guys don't know, just like stocks, you could also short options. So if you short an option, you want the option to actually fall in value. So as of right now, it kind of looks like they're shorting them, but I have like mixed feelings on this play. What do you think?
Yeah, I have mixed feelings as well. I mean, it's just one of those plays that you would expect it to keep popping, but I mean, I think it's just going to go ahead and follow the other tech stocks, really. It's just one of those things that once you're leading into a split, I mean, really it's a 50-50 right now, whether it's just going to continue up or fall down. I do like that it's staying above the 100 SMA on a technical level. That's a very key price point to watch, and it looks like it bounced off of it twice today. And if it does fall below that, I could definitely see Apple, maybe coming back down to 410, but I don't see him going too low in the long term, especially before the split. Maybe after the split occurs, I might expect Apple maybe to then fluctuate a little bit or get at least very volatile one way or the other. But until that happens, I think the Apple will start to kind of consolidate, because I think the news on earnings and the split really pumped it up, and I don't think that we're going to see it go up, another $50 a share over the next couple days.
True. So yeah, definitely a good insight right there. It's really just hard to get a gauge of what's going to happen with Apple because they're up so much in the short term, but they're just an absolute powerhouse where they really don't have too many like bearish days. You know what I mean? Like they don't really have too many big red days, and they're such a powerhouse company, powerhouse stock, and they're splitting too. So it's really hard to just get an accurate gauge of what's to happen. So now with the comments from the previous episode, with the first comment, we have Skeezy saying, hey guys, question on strategy. I've seen numerous times where a stock swings wildly after the market opens. In the case of Apple, I saw it dip, then jump right up before it tapered down. But with Etsy, it went down and up, then down again. If you're looking for momentum, I can see where you go in, but when do you make the decision to pull out? So for example, let's say we look at McDonald's, right? And let's say you buy puts on McDonald's. They are a member of the Dow. So pretty much, let's say you buy puts on McDonald's at market open and McDonald's starts to go up slightly, but the Dow is crashing. In that scenario, I would be more likely to just hold on to those puts and let McDonald's kind of align with the rest of the index it's in. So it's really hard to give you a simple answer because there are so many variables. Are you a day trader, swing trader? What's your risk tolerance? Are you trading in the money puts? Are you trading out of the money? Are you trading spreads? Are you shorting options? There's just so many variables, but just like a simple example I could give you is like what I just listed, but also keep in mind what the overall market is doing and what type of stock you're trading. Like if you're trading a stock like Tesla that tends to go parabolic, and let's say you buy calls when Tesla is green and it starts to pull back, you're probably fine with, just letting Tesla play out. But, if you're, let's say Tesla, it had just had 2 massive green days and you're buying puts and Tesla continues to run up, I would be a lot more quick to just cut the loss. You know what I mean? So there's really no simple answer to your question, but a lot of it depends on what you're trading in the market overall. So great question, though. So with the next question, we have Matt saying, do I hold FSLY through earnings, question mark?
Oh, wow. This really shot up here. I personally would not hold this through earnings just because, I don't like to hold anything through earnings anymore. I made the mistake of that a lot, and, whenever I was, in the beginning stages of trading. But right now, really fastly, it's really shot up over the past few days. It looks like it might continue up tomorrow, but really, I might sell tomorrow before earnings because it's normally with earnings, it's just always the flip of a coin. I mean, sometimes when stocks are going to have good earnings, and sometimes you don't. But sometimes they might have good earnings, but then have like a bad outlook, and then that might send the stock down. So there's all types of different factors with earnings that could really go wrong. And I think that it's just always smarter, at least if you're winning, to take profits.
Yeah, if you are in Fastly, you are definitely in the green right now. That stock has done nothing but go up. So personally, I would just take the profits. Take the profits and run. You probably have an amazing return on them. And earnings are such a gamble. It's just very risky to hold them through earnings. So with the next comment we have, let's see, we have Pat saying, great video like always, guys. What do you think about OPTI? They have great news, great product ideas, and one of the Shark Tank founders, Steve Mandel, has been added to their advisory board. So let's take a look. OPTI. So, oh
Yeah, I
boy.
mean, it's really low price, like 5 cents, 9 cents a share right now.
Yeah, when I see a stock that is, worth 9 cents and it's trading in the OTC, the first thing I think is pump and dump. A couple months ago, this stock was worth what is it, a tenth of a cent back in May, Tom. It was worth $0.0008. So I don't know. It's such like a pump and dump, it looks to me. So I would never trade anything like this. It can turn out great, but I've never researched this company, and they are an OTC stock and they're worth 10 cents. So
I
that's
mean, it is interesting to see that the guy from Shark Tank is kind of on their advisory board or whatever he said. But I think that's pretty interesting. But yeah, I mean, I want to know what they do fundamentally. But I mean, other than that, I mean, just like Mike said, it's just so low of a stock that it just like you can see how it had previous huge volume spikes in the past. And I mean, it's just that's pumping it up, guys, like right there. All those big volume days are just big pumps in the market, and I mean that's just what you're going to see with stocks like this, and they're so low of price that I mean you could be losing 20%, even 50% within 15 minutes of movement.
Yep, for sure. So with the next comment we have Nat saying, today I just subscribed. I appreciate you guys. I'm looking into ADT on the upside. There's not a lot of options available. I bought a call with a $10 strike price. I'm just learning. Would like to hear your thoughts on ADT. Thanks again, NJ. So thank you so much for subscribing, and thank you so much for the great question. So looking at ADT, right now the stock is at about $13. My first reaction is I like how you bought a $10 strike call. It's in the money, and when buying options that are in the money, you face a lot less time decay and you have higher delta. So pretty much what that means is if the stock goes in your favor, you're going to make more money on your option, right? Even though it costs you a little more to get into the option originally, overall, you're going to make more money. So that's just my initial reaction. I don't know. What do you think about this, Tom? I know they had a huge jump up, but they also have earnings coming up too.
Yeah, Google is actually going to invest $450 million into ADT, and that's why they had that big jump. But with earnings coming up, I mean, who knows? That big jump could fall all the way back down, or we could see another big jump up. I mean, over the long term, ADT looks pretty good. I mean, over the long term, it looks like it's been falling, over the past few years. But with this big jump, I mean, it could get very volatile. But if I'm trading it to the upside right now, it's just one of those plays that it's super risky in my opinion. I mean, I know what Mike said about it, but it seems really risky. But the good thing about it is that it is kind of consolidating right here around $12.65, and as long as it stays above this level, I mean, you might see another jump up with earnings.
True. So yeah. So with that being said, Tom, do you have any last minute stocks, options, or any insight for the market tomorrow?
Yeah, my last stock is going to be Bank of America. I have some great technicals on this one. We can see that there's tons of great trend lines right here, and it's bouncing off of it on an intraday level as well, which is awesome to see. You can just see it just riding this lower trend line all the way up, and we have the upper trend line right here. So we're kind of going to be having a nice day tomorrow where we're going to be hitting the end of the triangle. So we're going to be watching for a very nice, movement maybe to the upside or the downside with Bank of America. I know that Warren Buffett boosted his position in Bank of America, so that would lead me to assume that this stock might go up over the next few days, and this is a stock that I would go ahead and watch for calls.
Yep, for sure. And, Buffett definitely added to his position, like you said. So, that makes me like Bank of America for the long term. And then they're also doing good for the short term, like you just pointed out on your chart. So awesome insight right there. And before we end the video, I want to give a quick little shout out to Raj and Niall. They commented on yesterday's video saying, I love listening to you guys on my evening runs. Great stuff. So thank you so much for that comment. It was awesome to hear. And if you guys are new here, don't forget to subscribe to see our daily videos on your YouTube homepage every single day. Tom and I really appreciate all the support you guys have been giving through the channel lately through the form of hitting that like button, commenting, and subscribing. We just crossed 20,000 subscribers yesterday, so that means a lot to us. Thank you guys so much for all the new subscribers, likes, and comments. As always, if you have any questions, let us know in the comments down below. Other than that, thanks for watching.